it's Renita, producer of That's a Doobie podcast. In this episode of That's a Doobie, Omari Jalan talks with Rampelle, who because of COVID has found a new appreciation for cannabis. Omari Jalan and Rampelle discuss how cannabis inspired his spray painting creativity, how cannabis helped Rampelle reflect on his initial feelings about being a new dad, and how cannabis improved his patience with his daughter and her remote learning. And if you have a child that's remote learning, then you definitely understand the struggle. So go grab your doobie or your libation and let's do this. Here we go.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Nice to finally meet you.
Man, same here, man. Welcome to That's a Doobie.
I love it, man. I love
it. Man. Hey, we're going to have a fun conversation, man.
Yeah, let's do it. You know, I heard you guys are looking for anybody from the community, not just anybody, but people trying to really spread the word about cannabis. And I was like, let's do it.
Man, that's what we want to do, man. Like, I love, and I'm always saying, it's just kind of normalizing cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Like, we it just, I hate the stigma that's tied to it, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. I was like, just reflecting on like one of the times trying to get a hold of bud growing up, like in high school, and getting ripped off behind a dumpster for some oregano and stuff. And I got two kids, and they won't ever experience that now.
No, they growing up in a whole new world. They could go to the store and get some weed. Getting weed for us was a whole adventure.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd show up in parts of town that I was never familiar with, but like they came through, and I was like, okay, that's it's like it's just so weird. Like even now, just smoking it out in the street, you know.
I would have never dreamed that we would get to this point, man.
Oh, especially the way things are going now. No, oh man, I was thinking at least 10 years when they started like talking about it, but they made it happen. They wanted that money, right?
And they made it happen, and I'm here for it. I'm happy for it.
Oh, it's like a blessing in so many ways I never realized either. You know, like it's great.
Right. So I went to the dispensary today. I worked out yesterday and pulled my calf muscle.
Oh man!
So I was, going to go to the dispensary anyway, but I saw that they had these patches that you. I was like, yes, yes,
like perfect.
And they got a little THC in it, so I'm gonna put it on tonight and have me a really good sleep.
Yeah, let me know how that goes. I was wondering how much of that really gets into you when it's on the skin like that. So
yeah. Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm trying to adjust the camera. Okay. All right. Back to it.
Is this light okay? I got the spotlight on me. I want to make it look real nice, you know?
Beautiful, man. You look beautiful. It's going to come up real well.
Okay.
All right, so let's jump into it, man.
Okay.
I know you smoking something, right? Got something?
So, I'm a stay-home dad right now, you know, and I just been referring to myself as a aspiring artist, and basically, even before Corona hit, I started using it to just ease my mind. I had a hard time unplugging from work, and I just got really into it again. And upon legalization and how acceptable it is now, I just like really focus in on the good things that it brings to me. And I hope somebody else finds that relief with this too. So
absolutely, because it's a hell of a plan. So yeah, tell us who you are. You mentioned your artwork, and I saw yours on your IG page. So we're gonna get into that some more. But yeah, Tell us who you are and any opportunity to pub what you got, man. Shout yourself out.
Thanks, man. I just like I said, I'm just an aspiring artist. As a result of a couple nights of smoking probably a touch too much, it unleashed some creative energy, and I was like, hey, I've always wanted to try spray painting, and I was looking at some Banksy photos and this painting that I got, and I was like, let's just do it. So I bought a couple cans and just started like spraying some stuff in the garage and set up this little art studio. And it's been such a release for me that I never knew existed, you know.
Wow. Hey, that's dope. That's dope cool. As fuck. Like when you find something like that that just makes you feel whole, or you know what I'm saying, gets you excited, you know what I'm saying, something to always look forward to. That shit dope, man.
Right.
Salute to you. So how much so I know you said that you had smoked a little bit and got the inspiration. So how much does weed or cannabis like influence your art?
Well, I'd say it's almost based completely on the cannabis, right? So, so it's the whole like having just a recreational dispensary to go to just like blew my mind. Okay, so it's one thing that marijuana is legalized. Okay, great. So if I still go talk to my guy, he's only got one, maybe two kinds. Okay, so he's gonna give me some mids or he's gonna give me some loud, and that's it. I only got two choices. You go to the dispensary and it's like Willy Wonka. Like every time I go in there, like you could get any kind of a strain for anything. It's like, oh, you want to sleep? You got, you could get indica. Oh, you want to sleep, but you still want to be functional, and then like you could really dial it in with like the way that these blends are growing and they're mixing stuff up. And so I was like, okay, well, historically, looking back, oh my God, 20 years ago, I'd smoke some weed and I wouldn't know what would happen. I might fall asleep for 5 hours, or I might be like wired, ready to go. So it didn't really hit the spot for me. But then now it's like, oh, okay, I'm feeling a little anxious. Let me slow it down with this indica. It's like, oh, it's still early in the day. I don't want to fall asleep. Hit this sativa, and like, it's weird. And like I can just be like, turn it on and off, like almost like 100%,
Yeah, man. Hey, I love that you said that, because 20 years ago, I was in high school. You going to the weed guy. Like you said, either Loud or Reggie. That's it. That's it. So I didn't know weed could do all that. Like I started learning about like it does this or it relieves this and this and that. I just know that shit got me fucking high. Like that was good enough.
Right. And you're just like, oh, it's an escape. I'm gonna go get high back then. And then now it's like, oh no, like, yeah, I'm stressed out. I'm gonna hit this. But it's like, oh, okay, I'm able to break it down even further. Maybe it's being older or what, but it's okay, this is the anxiety kicking in today. There's a little bit of depression kicking in today or something. Or like, hey, like I just need to chill out and turn off everything there, and it could get it dialed in like that. It's not just getting high anymore.
It's not.
Right, yeah.
It's not. So you got any artwork you could show us? You got any piece near you?
I mean, like I don't. I'm in the house. I have all of my stuff in the studio in the garage, basically.
Okay. Don't worry about what. So what do you have new? Like, what's the newest thing?
Well, so it's in the works though, but I figured out how to make those like proper stenciled out paintings now, like the layered ones. You got like a Free Humanity or like a Banksy looking type, and I'm experimenting with some of those. So my feed's gonna be filled with a bunch of those coming up real soon.
Man, hey, I was looking through all your. So one of them I saw the crown. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's my man. Hey, I like that. Hey, if you ever make one to sell it, man, I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
That's what's wild about this process too, is like just smoking weed and then just learning more about myself, really in this kind of introspective process where I'm like, here's a whole bunch of things that as a kid I never got to try, I never got to do, and now as an adult, like what's stopping me now is myself, right? And then so once COVID hit, I quit my job. And I've just been at home like a lot, and I'm like, there's definitely nothing stopping me now from trying this. And then just getting into it, it was like I got this joke with my wife that we don't know if we could have been like Olympic archers because we never took any archery classes, or just like there's like one hidden talent that everybody really, really has, but they might not ever find it because they never had a chance to try.
Yeah.
This makes me feel like I'm discovering something really like deep.
Hey, so and I agree with you. Like once I've been smoking for some time now. So being home a lot, it definitely picked up for me. It definitely picked up for me. And I feel like being home, had that opportunity to be more like, what's the word for it? Like really thinking and really being introspective. That's what I'm looking for. You know, where, you're right. Like I was like looking for that new talent, looking for that thing that I want to try. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm in a drone class. I'm trying to get a license in flying drones, man.
20 years ago, did high school you think like, you know what, I'm going to fly these mini helicopter things, right? Like,
right. But it came from smoking weed. Like, yo, what? I wouldn't have thought about that sober.
Yeah, it's for real. You know, it just like it takes off. Like it's like for me, I just get anxious about talking to people. Like 2 minutes before you call me, I'm freaking out. I'm like, man, do I smoke more? Do I smoke less? Whatever. So it just helps take down that barrier. And then you hear a lot of people say like, that's not you talking. That's just your anxiety or something. You know, and it's almost like I'm not scared to go out because of cannabis, you know?
Whoa. So like, and I see from your post that you big on mental health and you touching on a lot of that with anxiety, and we don't understand how much people deal with anxiety, may not understand that they're dealing with anxiety. And in some cases, if you're in the right situations, you know that you have it and you could do something about it. So touch on cannabis and mental health for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, my whole journey with that started when my daughter was first born. All right. She's going on 6 years old now. And like the first year as a dad, like was probably one of the single hardest moments of my life. Like mentally, I was like, okay, the baby's coming. It's going to be here. People tell you you're going to be tired, et cetera, though. And then next day she's there. And then like, all these issues start coming up, like stuff that I never knew bugged me. Like, okay, you know, like, the common mental health joke is like, you know, did your dad not love you or something like that? But like, I started thinking about that for real. I'm like, I don't know if he really did or not, but like, but it started influencing like my relationship with my daughter, and just seeing like other parents and how they just latched onto their babies like right away. Like even my wife, she like really loved this baby, and for me, like that first year, I was like, okay, whatever. But when I look back at that first year, it makes me feel like really, really terrible. So
there's honesty though.
And like, and it's just layers of like this guilt that's built up in me, and cultural issues and society and whatever else and stuff. And I felt like part of me has to make that up, but at the same time, I got to keep going too. So this really helps me like kind of get over it, but just like to help me keep pushing forward and not dwell too much on that stuff, you know?
Man, it's dope. And I know exactly where you at with that. You know, I had 3 daughters.
Oh, man.
So that first year with the oldest daughter, you're talking about a complete lifestyle shift.
Oh.
You're not ready for it. Like, they don't prepare you to be a parent. You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck? Like, I need somebody to come take care of this because I'm not ready.
I lived in Wicker Park, Bucktown area just before my daughter was born, and it's like bars every 10 feet, you know, and like people brunching, and like I'd walk by some of these bars and there'd be like a parent with a stroller. I'm like, what kind of people do this? Who does that? You know, and then like my daughter's born. I'm like, fuck, I really need a drink. Let me. I'm gonna, like, now I understand. And I was like, man, I felt bad for talking shit to all those parents, but like, you're like, you still got to be you, right? Like, yeah, here's this new responsibility, you know, and yeah, you got to suck up part of you to take care of that, but you still need you. right? Like,
still need you. And weed helps.
Yes,
America,
yes.
weed helps you.
Yeah,
Hey.
you know, it's like that's and that culture, like the hippies and loving one another, and then it's like it's almost like a no anxiety, no depression, just being kind of culture that like really does it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a little break real quick, man. What you smoke? And then, please.
I'm indoors. I got a little cartridge of pineapple diesel.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Nice. All right. Yeah. So I got a little something. I went to the dispensary earlier. I got what is the name of it? Double Durban.
Nice.
So yeah. So I want you to smoke because I'm about to put you under some pressure, man. You think you ready for this?
Pressure makes diamonds, bud. Let's go.
Hey, you was born and raised in Chicago, weren't you? That sounds like Chicago talk right there, man.
It's the only way, man.
Only fucking way, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in so far to this episode of That's a Doobie podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Doobie Room or at That's a Doobie. All right, let's get back to this discussion.
All right, so we got this game that we play.
Okay.
And it's rapid fire. And
Okay.
it's this or that. So, hold on a second. It's hit kind of hard. I always keep some water near you people.
Have you tried that Durban one before?
This is my first time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my first time. So it's good. It's loud.
Okay.
Once you open,
And see, that's wild too. I feel like every time I try a new strain, it just gets better and better. And I'm like, I haven't had any, well, they're not going to sell you oregano, right? But I haven't had any like real dirt or anything that I didn't feel like was that I shouldn't have received, I guess, you know?
right. We know dirt. We know dirt.
Oh, man.
Hey. All right. So,
Okay.
all right, here we go. All right. So I'm going to start off with some Chicago questions. All right. So I need your answer right away, man.
Okay.
All right. Cubs or Sox?
Cubs.
Illuminatis or Giordano's?
Oh, man. Illuminatis.
All right. Cheesesteak or Italian beef?
Italian beef, man.
Okay. All right. Indica or sativa?
Sativa.
Okay. All right. When you got the munchies, vanilla ice cream or chocolate?
What? Like, if I was forced to choose, it's got to be vanilla. But you know, it's going to end up being both if I got both in the house. So.
I don't know if I'm gonna let that one pass, man. You got to make a choice.
Oh man, vanilla though legit is like one of my favorites. Yeah.
All right. Smoke or vape?
Smoke. Yeah, the vape, it's convenient, it's nice, the house doesn't stink, but I feel like it hits too high too fast and it wears off too quick.
True, it does. It does. All right. Infusions or edibles?
Edibles. Vape.
All right. Let's see. Godfather 1 or 2?
1. Well, 1, because really at the end of the day, if we didn't have 1, we wouldn't have any of the other ones too, though. So like, I always got to go to 1.
Okay. All right. Good answer. All right. Last one. Would you rather smoke and go on an adventure of your choice or smoke and Netflix and chill?
Oh, man. Netflix and chill. Let's make it, because like now it's, well, yeah, I keep saying now. Like for me, it's like if it's the end of the day, the kids are down, I'm like, this is a win. Let's just crash the ship, man. Let's go for broke. And so I'm not trying to leave the house or anything after that. So Netflix for me, I'm good.
That's funny as hell, man. So everybody that I've done this with has chose Netflix and chill.
Actually, I think it was through one of the episodes I was watching that you guys are listening to before, where like somebody had talked about how it's actually illegal to drive, or like if you can't smoke and drive, right? Basically. Yeah. And like I did not actually know that until I heard it on your guys' thing, right? So I'd actually be like at the park, like sitting in the car smoking outside, like just like watching these people, and then I drive home. Like, I'm like I might as well have just had like a 40 and thrown it out the window or something, you know. But like, I'm like that actually. But now I'm like, oh, this is good that I don't do that now. So like.
Hey, I love that. I'm glad that we could put some information within this podcast, man. I'm glad you learned something. That's funny. Definitely, people do not smoke and drive.
PSA,
not a good look.
They might not be able to prove it, but you just should not do it.
Shouldn't do it. Yeah, you have a good chance of maybe getting away with it, but on the off chance that you happen to be just coming from a dispensary and you got something in your car,
you can still get messed up, guys. It's not 100% out there, so still be careful a little bit, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead back out.
Okay.
So you got a few more questions, man.
Okay.
So we talked about you being a stay-at-home dad. I fucking love that. I would love to be that one day. So I'm inspired by you, man. So hats off to you. So we've talked about in some of our podcasts and in an event that we held with cannabis and parenting.
Okay, yeah. So
has it improved your parenting?
Absolutely. Like, so 100%. There's a couple days where my daughter's 6. She's homeschooled because CPS and stuff. My little guy's only 1. I got a second kid. He just turned 1 yesterday. And
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm blessed to have help, and my wife is able to work from home. But so like we're here, but not all here for the kids. But when I'm like in class with my daughter, like sometimes I'll like go nuts because I know all the answers, and I'm like, what are you guys even doing? Why is this taking forever? So like, it definitely gives me a lot of patience and puts things into perspective a lot better. Which it's cool because then I start understanding like how she actually learns stuff instead of like just giving answers. So it's been an experience.
That is so fucking honest. I love it.
Come on, man.
Because I do the same thing, man. It's like, how do you not get it? How do you not get it? Like, it's just all you gotta do is subtract 2. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Look, you just answered it over here, and and there were a couple of days where it was like that, and then like when I finally got to like a good place, I'm just like, okay, this is not how it. Like, I could definitely do better than this, and like this is some stuff that my parents used to do to me, and like that didn't feel good. So there's got to be a better way to do this.
It does. It has absolutely helped me. Like, I'm so patient now. Like, I would sit down, take time, and just really focus in on how to help them get it. Like, I need you to get it, really understand it, because 2 days from now, if we're still on this, I'm going to be pissed.
Right? You know, like, now it's like, oh, I mean, you know, they're gonna let you pass anyway, so whatever. That's cool.
You're right about that. All right, so you're a former chef. All right, so before I get to the question, like, what was your if you said I'm gonna cook you a meal, this is my best thing, what would it be?
So I'm big into fusion foods, and one of them is a mix of like Spanish cooking as well as Filipino cooking. And so I do a squid ink paella. That's just load you up with a bunch of seafood, and I've seen it done in Spain, but I've also seen it done in like a Filipino style. So I do a nice meaty dish like that.
Hey, I'll be interested. I definitely will be interested. Absolutely, 100%. So you said infuse. How often do you infuse your food?
Well, so I used to do it a lot before. When like I had to make like homemade canna butter with like some leftover like shake or something like that, and you know, I could make brownies or like peach pies, like hand peach pies, basically. Those are like pretty easy to just put together, but like it's not super accurate. So I didn't like where I would eat like one bite of this empanada and then I'd be like blasted, but some days I'd eat the whole thing and not feel anything. So it kind of like deterred me from that. There's way better ways to cook with it and use it now that I just haven't explored though.
Okay. So will you use that to get into the industry, or do you want to get into a different way?
I've thought about it. I mean, I'd be open to it. That's for sure. You know, like if somebody was like, "Hey, I just help me, you know, come up with the next batch of chocolate that's gonna get people," I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. But part of this whole adventure that like cannabis has kind of opened me up to is that I've been cooking like professionally for like a long while, and the lifestyle, like the long hours, the physical labor, just like the constantly tense environment, like a lot of my issues were drawn from that. So now I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old and I'm contemplating like a career change, which is totally wild. Excuse me. And you know, that's because of the cannabis. And then so cooking, I've been doing it so long that I'm confident in it, but I think I'm done doing it for money though.
Okay. It's just a passion. And that's cool.
Well, yeah. And like, so even now it's like I'm cooking at home and I'm like neurotic about how my utensils are laid out and ingredients and stuff. And just from like doing it for so long that like when I'm done cooking and like the family's eating, if it doesn't taste right to me, I think it's terrible, right? But everybody else is having a blast and they don't care. So like I still have a little bit of a disconnect between when it's fun and when it's like not. So
yeah.
You're right though. I think it is a passion because you don't have that hate if you don't love it, I guess.
Right. Well, keep at it, brother, man. You never know where it take you, man.
Yeah, that's for sure, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you so much for being on That's a Doobie with us. I definitely had fun, man.
I had a great time, and you know, I'm glad that to meet more people that are just not into it for just getting stoned, but like trying to do something positive with it. And even like what you guys are up to and getting your guys' dispensary up and running too. I think I'm looking forward to visiting.
Hey, absolutely, you'll be one of the first on the VIP list, man.
I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, man.
Omari, have a great night. Thank you, everybody.
You do the same.
All right.